get NickBanks Xbox. I know he's trying to secure one. So we gotta make sure that.
But what about getting me a PS5?
Yeah, I mean, you're on your own, B. The scalp. I mean, I know scalpers. There's some scalpers struggling to, unload their PlayStation 5s.
Right.
Oh, good.
So I mean, you can get one sooner. You can get one probably at value from a scalper in January, because they need to sell those things between now and December 20th.
Nah, they're gonna have. They're working on fucking making more supplies. And
PlayStation's gonna have some, but the thing is, the scalpers they're gonna be forced to.
They're gonna drop the prices because there's too many people selling them for double value, and they're not gonna sell.
Nah, it's just these fucking websites need to have captcha and other things to stop bots from like.
Walmart has it right now. I'm logging in and it's allowing me to use captcha to log in.
Yeah, so it's.
Yeah, but yeah, for those who's still trying to secure the console, is it Walmart today at 9 p.m.?
Yeah.
Get your PlayStation 5 and your Xbox Series X. Finally, the cast looks a little bit bigger today because we have more people with next generation consoles, and I just needed some more like opinions, thoughts, and impressions. Sorry about the wait, 9-minute delay, but shout out to everyone watching so far. Welcome to Planet Xbox Podcast, episode 38. I am your host, the Best Bot Kid Smooth, and today I am joined by. I'm gonna give a shout out to, and you're gonna have to give me like a true introduction and I'm not being disrespectful when I say this or being I don't want to be rude. I don't know who you are, but you was the first one to reply, and I was like, oh, he streams. Cool. Let's get him in here. So shout out to Old Man Logan. How are you?
Yo, I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Tell the people what you do and where they can find you, and like just a quick little summary.
Oh, I mean, I stream a variety of different games on Twitch. I'm pretty much Old Man Logan, pretty much wherever you go. Other than my Twitch has two ends. Right now, I'm currently like streaming Yakuza, Assassin's Creed, Demon Souls. Like I'm just there's just too much stuff out right now to even like begin to dig into.
Yeah, absolutely,
so
man.
Yeah, that's where you can find me.
Old Man Logan. I like the name. Shout out to another. This is it's a rare sighting. We have Feral Bazard, or it goes by Feral Gaming, right?
Feral Bazard or Feral Gaming. I kind of switch between the two because there's a lot of Feral Gamings out there. So,
okay.
Yeah, but just Feral is good.
And I don't think we've ever podcasted together at all. But introduce yourself, quick summary, and where can people find you?
Yeah, well, I'm a co-host on the Vitamin G podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So you can find me there on FC's channel, and I do a couple little videos here and there on my own channel.
Mm-hmm.
But you can find me on Twitter at Feral Bazard, and you can find me on Twitch at Land of Pharaoh.
All right, that's what's up. All right, so welcome. So one of FC's guys, okay. And we got obviously the shout out to this man. We had I think a debate maybe a couple months ago, maybe last month, and then we got another video coming out tomorrow discussing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is probably going to be so irrelevant since they got a update coming out tomorrow, which improves the game. But shout out to the notorious DRE.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining, man. It's a pleasure to have you here. And of course, we got Dope as Jay.
What's good, boys? Got my PS5 today. It's lit. Set it up, played a couple games on there. Tomorrow is really where I'm going to do my deep dive for it. I've also been playing a lot of Destiny 2, so you guys can catch me on Twitch at CokeboyJ. You guys can see me on there streaming Destiny 2. Been straight frying. On Crucible, playing raids, everything with my clan. So if you guys want some entertaining, good Destiny 2 footage and gameplay, tune into the Twitch stream live.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to the Planet Xbox crew. We've been doing this for a while. Now we're in next gen after like an entire year of talking about next generation consoles. I got mine. I know other people on the side here are going to secure theirs, so I'll let you guys know my initial thoughts a little bit in the podcast.
Okay. And Chris Righteous.
Yo, my bad, man. I was on the phone.
It's all good.
What up? What up? Welcome everybody to another episode of Planet Xbox. Welcome the guests. You know what I mean? I know one of you. I don't know the other one, but that's my boy Notorious Dre. Old man Logan. Nice to meet you. And this another one. Then we have 3 guests today. All right. I was trying to get Optimus Cole, but well, he couldn't do it tonight. But I'm trying to get him on again
for next week.
Yeah, you know, that way y'all can hash out y'all problem.
I don't got no problems with Optimus. I'm just
you do.
I ain't got no problems with that.
Yeah, you do.
Nah.
But if I go in and out, if I go in and out today, it's because me and my brother we trying to get a PS5.
No, fair enough. I understand it.
Yeah, so I'm just letting you know, because I'm on my phone, so if I'm getting calls and shit like that, just to let just a heads up. But I'm gonna try to be here most of the time. So.
No, fair enough, dude. That's what it's like. I'll be surprised if NickBanks come rolling through at 9 o'clock because you got to get that Xbox.
Yo, quick thing though. Smooth, we got to stream Halo, bro. It was a great time we had the other night on Halo 5.
Oh yeah.
You know, you got to stream that.
After we introduce Swans, I'll tell you a quick story, and then we'll get on to the topic. Swans, man, what's up, bro? How are you?
No, what's good, everybody? Like, see this your regular struggle boy. Shout out to the guests, Dre, Old Man Logan, Pharaoh. What's happening with y'all? It's the same old, trying to secure shit, getting frustrated, getting down. So I'm just kind of stressing a little bit, but I mean, like, yeah, we here. Let's talk these games, man.
All right. Now, it's a quick story. Now that you mentioned Halo, right? My son was playing Halo 5 earlier today, and I'm looking. The score, his team, he was blue team, and they were playing his red team. He's playing online. Him and my daughter love it. I don't know why. But the score is 34-37. I think his team is leading. I look at my son's stats, and he's like, I think 1 in he's like 1 in 16. Like,
oh,
it's
man.
like horrible, right? Just horrible. And I'm like, all right. I was like, let me show you something, right? So I took the controller, right, and I don't know. I just go on like a casual rampage to the point like the game ended up finishing 50 to I think 50 to like 39. And remember, I took the controller from him at 37-34. and I had went on and then he finished, and he was 1 in 16. He finished after I took the sticks from him. He finished 8 and 18 in the last, like, it was like in like a matter of, I was only playing for like maybe like 90 seconds to finish the game. So it was just like, oh, that makes me feel so good. I have to get back.
Dude, that night we played was like the first time in a while I played Halo, and I was doing really good that night. That was crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. Halo
is
a game that, like, I guess I'll never, like, have to relearn how to play. It's just like you pick it up and you just go. And the thing is, what makes it hard though, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm not sure if I can do that with classic Halos. Like, I'm pretty sure you're pretty much proficient in like all the Halos. Like,
oh yeah, I can play.
I can't go back to every Halo.
Time.
I can go back to Halo 5, and I'm just accustomed to Halo 5. I'm like, I'm fine. I'm good. I can do good in Halo 5. But if I have to go back to Halo 4, the most one I'm afraid to go back to is Halo 3, because Halo 3 was the last one before Halo 5 that I was really good at, right? But it's now so vastly different now with Halo 5.
It's still the same.
Like, when you, like going from Halo 5 to Halo 3, like, I don't know, like, maybe, but that's the last one I was like, before like Halo 5, that was the last one where it's like, yeah, I can do it, I can pick it up and call it a day. But I don't know, it's been a while. Shout out to the chat, everyone in the chat. I see some names. We got Blessed Red, I see Saltiest Gaming, Bland Drew. I think he secured the Xbox as well. Who else do we have here in the chat? Just to name a few. All right, so we're gonna cover some things before we get into the topics. We had this podcast, but we've sent, like, the last 2 weeks, obviously the next gen consoles has been out, but we've only had really one-sided opinions, because I think I was the only one in here that had access to both consoles. So now we kind of got like a loaded like team of people in here that have both consoles or one of the next generation consoles, and there's more opinions we can hear, more experiences. We're gonna start with let's start with Pharaoh, man. What did you secure? When did you secure it? And what have you been playing on it?
So far, I only got the Series X.
Okay.
So I've played a little bit of Horizon on there, Forza Horizon 4. I've played. I've been really pushing through Fallen Order. Got a little bit of Kakarot in.
Yo, you're the second person that I heard mention Kakarot, and this is literally, I feel like it's the first time I'm hearing of this game. But go ahead.
And
I want to get that game. Eventually, I'm gonna get that game. That's that Dragon Ball Z game.
Yeah.
The one with
and,
Goku. RPG.
Like the RPG type,
Yeah. So if you're a Dragon Ball Z purist, like the beginning's gonna be a little bit rough, but as you get into the game, it gets better. And a little bit of Madden, and that's pretty much what I've played on the Series X so far. As far as my impressions of the console, I've used it for a couple apps and things like that. I think the user interface and everything, I think the console runs extremely well so far. I like Quick Resume a lot. It's a really beautiful and unique feature. But my overall assessment of the console is that if you really don't need it, you can kind of wait, because Xbox is lacking in that exclusive content. But it is a fantastic quality of life upgrade. So if you're like a tech guy like myself, and you like having the latest and greatest hardware, it is worth your money. I'll say that.
All right, fair assessment there. Old man Logan, you've one of the latest to have access to both. I'm assuming, did you secure both of these like day one, or was there like a staggering? And
Yeah, so I got my my PlayStation 5 from GameStop. I got that. I got both systems day ones when they came out, and then I got my Series X from Best Buy.
Nice.
And I got on my Series X side, I'm playing Yakuza, Watch Dogs, and Assassin's Creed, and then on the PlayStation side, I got the obviously Demon Souls, Spider-Man, Sackboy, and then Godfall.
Wow.
So it's definitely been jam packed. And I got Call of Duty on Xbox as well. So yeah,
you got the entire launch library.
I'm stacked for a while.
Yeah,
and then Cyberpunk next month. So I'm good if they don't release games for like another year.
Yeah,
but we know that's not going to happen.
Yeah, Cyberpunk's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, that's incredible. Like, I admit, the last time I've gotten every launch game at launch was the 360 launch, where I kind of just went kind of ham. But I've on the Xbox side, I've almost gotten every I guess cross-gen launch game. Obviously, for the PlayStation 5, I'm dealing with Spider-Man and Astro Boy. I had to wait on Godfall because I'm hoping the price drop comes soon, and I'm supposed to be given Demon Souls so I can do the challenge in January or February. So that should be coming soon. Dre, you have the PlayStation, correct?
Correct.
All right, and thoughts so far, because you got through how many games so far, or how many games you've been playing on it so far?
I've played Astro, got the platinum.
Mm-hmm.
I've played Miles Morales, got the platinum in that, and right now I'm playing Assassin's Creed, and I've been playing Dragon Ball Z Kakarot because the new DLC came out, so I've been playing that.
Wow. And now one of our owns, Dope Boy, Cope Boy Jay, finally managed to snag a next generation console, and that console just happens to be a PlayStation 5. And you got through the hookup phase, and you got to test a game or so on it, right?
Yeah, I played Astro's Playroom, and I also played Miles Morales for a little bit. Just did the intro sequence on that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's a pretty good system so far. I actually like it. The only thing about my PS5, it just looks so out of place on my setup. Like it stands out so much, not just because of the size, but like the color and the design relative to everything else inside the room. so it really stands out. But the system is really, really fast. I like the way the controller feels right now. Tomorrow is really when I'm gonna start gaming on there, start installing some more stuff. A lot of Black Friday sales are happening right now, so I'm gonna see if I can pick up some other games. But I'm getting Demon Souls next week for my birthday, so I'm getting Demon Souls for free.
Nice.
Games install really, really fast. Obviously, it's because the write speeds in the SSD is really, really good. So if you have a good download speed, you get PS5 or Xbox Series X. Like your games are gonna download really, really quick.
Yeah, that I haven't been having an issue with that at all. So I think outside of like I think maybe launch day, but I did more so of like transferring and everything.
I just have to get used to the interface. I haven't really like toyed around with it too much.
The PS5 interface.
Yeah, the PS5 interface. Like I haven't really like deep dived into it whatsoever. I set it up, signed in, installed Miles Morales, played that for a little bit, played Ashes Playroom, and just got off and let my brother play right now.
Yeah, watching the videos, the UI looks a lot like the PS4 to me.
Yeah, off rip, like just playing it
Yeah.
for a little bit, but I haven't like gone in and like customized settings, themes, and stuff like that.
They don't have themes yet, from what I heard.
They don't.
No.
Yeah,
That's unfortunate.
They don't have themes right now. I mean, it's launch. Like,
Yeah.
things take time to catch up. Like, people expect too much at launch, I feel.
I mean, overall,
So I had a quick question for the guys that bought any of the new games. Did you guys buy them digitally or physically for the Series X?
for Series X, I'm it's digital. I think I've only.
Digital.
So, games that I play, I purchase digitally. Like, if I'm purchasing a collector's edition or it's like a steelbook edition, I'll buy the physical copy. But I hate having to put the disc in if I want to play the game. Like, if I got to buy the game, put the disc in, it download the game, and never have to pop the disc in again, I would buy physical more often.
Yeah.
But I only buy it for collector's editions.
I was just asking because I just came into the whole the thing that I had with the Series X, because I buy most of my games still physical. And the interesting thing is, even if you put the disc in the Series X, you still have to fully download the Series X version of the game. It doesn't copy anything off of the disc.
Yeah, no, yeah, I don't even.
So
The Series X is
I
not even on a
I
disc though, right?
I spent
is
my
just like
launch
basic.
day like pretty much downloading all the Series X versions of the games. I remember when I got done the next day, my system data usage was like 2-point-some terabytes of data.
Oh, that's actually interesting. I never knew that. I thought they would
Yeah,
just install
like
the next gen update. That's it, not the entire game.
No, it was like Assassin's Creed was one that I literally like. I had the game installed like on my hard drive already, but then it's like to get the Series X
You had to
upgrade,
install,
you had to
Blu-ray.
download like a 46 gig update.
Yeah, I made that mistake when I I'm sorry to interrupt, but go ahead.
No, you're right. It was like same with Watch Dogs. Was like I had to download the full game. The only one that actually installed anything off of the disc was Yakuza.
Yeah,
That was it. Downloaded like I think like it installed like 10 gigs off of the disc, and then it downloaded like another 17. I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
that's because
Here we are.
Blu-rays are kind of obsolete now to what
Wait a minute,
game
what
sizes.
system do you have Yakuza for? The Xbox?
Series X.
Wow, you the first person I know that actually bought that game for the Series X.
I bought literally every single game that came out, man.
Damn.
I even got that terabyte
Oh
external
yeah,
drive, too.
dude.
So walking out of like GameStop and Best Buy those days, it was luckily I saved up over the year and had everything pretty
Yeah.
much paid off. by the
Yeah.
time
I've seen
things come
smooth
out, but-
transfer games between that, like take a game off for Series X, put it on there, and then put it inside the Series S and transfer. Like it's really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why, like, because I have both the Series X and the Series S, and sometimes, I really don't know why I have it. Like, I obviously play on the Series X mostly, but sometimes I'll play on the Series S just because it's the one I have hooked up to my monitor. The Series X is hooked up to the TV. But the thing is, I don't have a single game installed on my Series S. I have it all installed on the external SSD, so I just pop it out of the X and put it in the S and just just play. And that came in clutch because I did run into an issue with NBA 2K21.
I saw that.
That game has been, it turns off my Series X. So I've been refusing to play it there, but I think the first day I had an issue with it. It's just like I was like, I just want to get through a game. So I had it on the SSD, and I just plugged it to the back of the Series S, and I played it on Series S, and I had no issues playing it on the Series S. But yeah, especially if you have two consoles, it's going to be a clutch thing to use because it's a legit plug and play.
Yeah,
but
dude, it was like I didn't expect it to be that small. Like I watched some unboxing videos, I was like, oh, that just looks like I was like thinking the size of like the the original 360 memory card, and no, this thing is literally like. I pulled out. I was like, I spent $220 on this little guy.
Yeah, dude, I got even sadder story. I traded my Xbox One X for it. An entire console. Like,
I have a sad story with the new gen systems though, because I didn't realize that none of your save data is from PlayStation 4, at least like, or maybe I wasn't prepared for it. Because the thing I liked about the Series X is like, all of your save data just instantly goes to the cloud.
Yeah, it's right there.
From going from Xbox One X or Xbox One to the Series X, no matter what game you pop in, your save data is going to be there.
Yeah.
And that's like the coolest thing that I thought. And I just thought my PlayStation was going to be like that. So when I went from, I sold my PS4, I was ready for, the PS5, and I was like, well, I want to, pop, like I wanted to boot up Horizon and continue my playthrough there, or Days Gone, and then I just realized, the sadness sunk in. I'm like, I don't have any of my save data.
No save data.
I was
I still got my
it
PS4.
did not put, that was like my biggest gripe from going from the PS4 to the PS5 was like that there was just no way, and I don't know if there is a way, but I just whatever I didn't do it.
They have cloud storage.
They
if
have
you have PS Plus.
You have to you have to manually upload it.
Yeah, and that's where
you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
You don't?
No.
I had to do that. I had to
do it
enable
because
it.
I don't have my stuff when I turned on my PlayStation 5. Like Days Gone, I had to start from the beginning. I know I'm gonna have to start Ghost from the beginning, and then my Spider-Man stuff. I don't know if that's gonna translate because
they just did the update for Spider-Man, so you can move your data over for Spider-Man now.
But what if I don't have because I don't have a PlayStation 4 no more?
Oh no! If you never uploaded it, then you have to start a new game. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So that's just like my biggest gripe was just the transition from the systems was you could easily your saves are right there. Boom, you can pick up right where you left off from the Xbox to the Series X, where the PlayStation, at least for me, I didn't have that option.
It's two very different philosophical approaches by the companies. Like Xbox is all about one ecosystem. So whether you pick up on your phone or your PC or Xbox 360, Xbox One, your save data is always ready for you. PlayStation just doesn't have that one whole ecosystem approach. They want you to move from one system to the next, but they've made it a lot more user friendly from PS4 to PS5. So it's just different. It's just different philosophies.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm just gonna have to boot up everything again and just play them again.
Yeah.
If you traded in your PS4, hell yeah, you will.
Yeah, I did. I learned that the hard way. Like I sold my PS4 Pro. I got the money that I wanted for it like quicker and than I anticipated it. Like I didn't so I think I posted my PS4. I had the Spider-Man PS4 Pro, and I posted it on I think the marketplace for like $200. I think it was like $200 I posted it for, and someone bought it like the same day. It was like on a Sunday in the middle of Weapon Will Podcast, and I was like, I didn't have time to upload anything, and I forgot to. I wasn't even thinking about that I had to do that. I just wanted to wipe my stuff from the system itself to make sure I had any personal information still on there, and then unplug it and and drop and send it downstairs. But yeah, that's the tough part. If you've been playing on Xbox for quite a while and I had I don't know how many Xbox Ones between the One S and the One X and then the launch Xbox Ones. I never had to worry about save data. It's just I just can't come accustomed I'm gonna just log in and my stuff is gonna be there, right? That's how and that's exactly how the Series X went.
Yep.
So it was just never. So when it comes to the PlayStation, it's like, okay, and it first hit me because I knew how far I was in Days Gone, and I played Days Gone. I was like, oh crap, I have to go through the launch sequence again. Then I'm like, but this happened to me before when I switched from my other PlayStation to the PlayStation 4 Pro, and I was like, that was like my bad. So It is that it is it does suck, but and you would hopefully during this generation they find a way to like sort of incorporate that, so it could be a lot easier. But I know they have things where you can plug in a USB, or you can upload it through the cloud. But I think Xbox just spoiled me a little bit.
But
I
will say, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I just don't see it happening unless they put more of an effort into PC integration. Because I mean, other than that, they don't really have a reason to do it.
Yeah, possibly because Xbox Saves works across PC,
Yeah.
mobile, and then obviously other consoles and streaming.
Everything.
Yeah, so it's just that's true because I remember I picked up I played 75% of Tekken's campaign on the xCloud beta, and then I finished it on the Xbox One X, and I'm like, that was
Even
weird.
PC has that feature of cloud save. Like I
Yeah.
went from my gaming laptop to my gaming PC, and
Yeah.
my save datas were here automatically as soon as I signed in and downloaded the game. So I was able to pick off from where I left off on Doom.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm gonna finish Doom on my PC and just do it here instead of on my gaming laptop when I go out on the go. That's it. But I don't know. They can if they want to. Like I always say, there's certain features
it can
they're
be done.
lazy. They're just really lazy when it comes down to certain stuff like that. Unless a lot of people complain about it and say, hey, like you need to add this feature.
Yeah.
Like the Spider-Man situation, it was ridiculous how at first they weren't gonna do it. A lot of people complained about it. It's like, oh, now you can bring your save data from PS4 of the original Spider-Man to the remastered.
Yeah, because if you put 100 hours into the game and you done maxed out your character, and you still want to play through the remastered version, but you don't want to like be like a damn near weeb, like I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So, and just and that we got like people here. I want to know you guys' thoughts because everybody's read about it and read reviews or watched reviews. Personal experiences with the DualSense for those who got it. So, I mean, obviously, I'm looking at Dope Boy, Old Man, and Dre. So we can start with Dope Boy since I know you just got your PlayStation.
I mean, I played with it for an hour today. I like it. It feels really good in my hand. It's a step up from the PS4 controller because I have bigger hands. So it just feels better. It feels more full in my palm. Playing like when you first set up your PS5 and you play Astro's Playroom, like you really feel the rumbles in the control and the adaptive triggers. I'm like, this has so much potential. The blowing into the mic was a bit weird. Like I was like, I don't feel comfortable doing this.
That's why I would just yell hysterically because you don't have to blow in it. You just got to make noise.
Yeah, it was just a weird thing. I was like, whoa, why am I blowing into a controller right now? Okay, but
you had blowing on the controller in for Ghost of Tsushima.
I didn't have to do that.
For playing the flute, you could blow on it.
Okay. Yeah, that's weird, but I'm not gonna do that though. But it feels really good right now. But in my honest opinion, the Xbox controller still is the best controller I've ever used. So yeah, Xbox controller still feels great in my hands.
Dre, man, your thoughts on the DualSense? You've been playing with it. You've done Astrobot, you've done Spider-Man. Now you're playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Your thoughts on that DualSense controller?
Like Dope said, it is a dope controller if developers utilize all the features correctly. Like Astro is it's phenomenal. The DualSense with Astro is phenomenal because they utilize everything that the DualSense can do. A game like Assassin's Creed that doesn't utilize all the features, it's your basic controller. Even Spider-Man's. I didn't think the way they implemented the features were that good either, but it's a dope controller if the developers utilize it correcally.
It all comes.
Yeah,
That's gonna all come down to first party.
It's a very, very dope controller. I actually have it as right now as my second favorite controller of all time.
Bro,
Behind what?
Stock, man.
Behind the Xbox One controller.
Oh,
so does it?
Wait, behind the Xbox One controller.
Yes,
bro. Then wait till you touch this Series X controller, bro.
I think the Xbox One controller is the best controller ever made.
Bro, if the Xbox One's the best controller ever made, the Series X.
I'm not gonna lie. I held
controller.
that Series X controller, and that controller felt amazing. That
like this is one next gen thing I did do. I went to Best Buy and I touched the fucking the Shock Blue and I was extremely impressed. Like I was like, this ain't gonna feel stupid. And with that low latency shit, like I'm ready to get that in my hand.
Bro, you can get
Is
the, you
anyone
can get the
using
controller now.
DualSense
It'll
for
work for your
PC?
Xbox One X. So.
I'm planning on
hit-
using it on my PC pretty soon.
Okay. Yeah, I was curious because I know Steam is slowly integrating more and more features.
They just
Well,
added.
I
full
won't even
support
say
for it today.
slowly. They're doing it actually pretty quick. They're integrating more and more of those DualSense features with Steam. So
Yep.
And old man, bro, your thoughts? Yeah, I mean, you experienced a lot of you got every launch game for the PlayStation, and I'm pretty sure each with first party they're doing different things with the set. Astrobot obviously is like the marquee killer app for the controller. What are your thoughts on it and the experiences you had so far during the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, so obviously, yeah, Astro's Playroom is hands down like the best way to show. Like, I sat my wife down and I said, "Listen, you got to play this and just feel like the controller." And just like she played through the game and she just loved it and she just kept on playing it. So Astro's Bot is definitely like the game that you would want to show off like for all the features of the controller. Um, and it's just going to all depend on what developers decide that they want to do with it. I didn't get Call of Duty for the PS5, so I don't know if like the adaptive triggers and stuff like that is any different. I've seen some videos and stuff of what it looks like when you shoot a gun with like the haptic feedback. But for the most part, like Spider-Man, I notice it here or there. Like when your Venom power was ready, you could kind of feel like a little bit of a tingle in the controller. You could feel the tension when you're swinging around the city and different stuff like that. I didn't really notice anything too crazy with either Demon Souls or Godfall. And I just don't know if they just didn't utilize it that much. But I'd like to see what more they do because I feel like it would be a really great feature in certain games. So hopefully it just all depends on what the developer wants to do. Kind of another game that I think might be good is Ratchet and Clank whenever that comes out. I hope they put that DualSense controller to like good use there. And I would say it's definitely my favorite PlayStation controller. And I'd put it as second to my number one's my Series Elite 2 controller.
Oh, that Elite Series C. I still don't have one. I was actually planning to get one with the launch of the console, but I have backed off on it. Mostly because of the reliability. I have 2 Elite Series 1s, which I don't use actually at all. They're still in a box. I'm trying to actually sell them. But I used them a lot during the Halo 5 Guardians days. I had the black one that kind of has the most mileage. Then I had the white one, and I barely used it. But all right, that's pretty cool to get those impressions out there. I know a lot of people wanted to kind of hear like from like actual users of the consoles, of which is like what the experience is like playing the games. Are you guys noticing any like what is your thoughts on like visuals, like when you pop on the console, whether it be the UI, whether it be a particular game, or the way a game feels? Like what is like your initial thoughts on that, and then we can kind of like tackle the pretty much the news and get everybody out of here. Anyone?
I guess I can start. So
I didn't know who was going to start. I didn't want to be like,
Nah, I'm gonna start, bro.
got
This
that
shit sold
P-
out in 5 seconds, bro.
Did you get it?
damn.
No, this shit fucking. As soon as I clicked it, they should just say. At first, it gave me error. Then it gave me another error. Then I clicked it again. Then it said out of stock.
Damn.
Insane.
damn.
Them bots
Yeah,
out.
it's
You know-
that
you know-
traffic
you know
that
any-
probably gave
You know
the
anybody
error.
else that was going for it?
What do you mean, like Target or some shit? I think
No,
Target's
like
doing
anybody
another
else
one in
that
an
you-
hour.
Not like anybody else that you know personally that's like trying to secure it as well.
Yeah, my brother. He's doing it right now. Him and his and the other one. They're trying to get a couple right now.
Okay.
So
You still got Black Friday though. Don't worry about it.
yeah, but today was Black Friday. As far as like when they do the sales,
Yeah, actually.
this was Walmart Black Friday. So,
That's crazy. That's crazy.
but we'll see, man. Hopefully, Sony can can start hustling and you know what I mean, sugar spice everything nice, put that shit in production. Get more PS5s in here,
I'm
bro.
telling you, the scalpers gonna drop their prices soon.
Sony said today that they'll be able to meet demand by year's end, so they're supposed to be able to be.
Hopefully, bro. Yeah, hopefully, man. But bots are rampant right now, man. Like honestly, like these websites need
Scalpers about to be hurting because if they're gonna meet demand by the end of the year, there's gonna be some people with a house full of PlayStations
PlayStation boxes and can't really do nothing with them.
They're
that's gonna happen.
That one dude has like fucking 30, 40 PS5s in his basement. Like that man gonna be hurting, bro. Like if don't nobody buy them, shit.
You're going to sell them for $440.
He has to sell at least half of them for double the price just to make back his money, or even more to get a profit.
Oh, yeah.
If he doesn't get through half of them, then it's a wrap. Like you got all these PS5 sitting for no reason.
Exactly.
You have to make Christmas. You have to make it early Christmas for some people. Like
exactly.
All right, so visual presentation, bro. Who want to take a shot at this first?
Oh yeah, I was about to say I booted up my PS5. Played Miles Morales, started off in fidelity mode, looked beautiful, amazing, 4K. I mean, dude, you see the most subtle detail with reflections. I mean, it just looked amazing. Then I switched to performance mode. I was torn because I was like, yo, I love the performance mode, but the fidelity, like the game looks so beautiful by having the visuals all the way up there. So I might toggle between both of them. But the majority of my time might be spent just playing in performance mode because switching to 60 FPS, the game just ran so smooth and looked so. It didn't even look better, but like the motion looked better on the TV going from 30 FPS to 60 FPS. So it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I'm hoping that as these tools develop with these developers, that we can get rid of the performance mode and we can have the best of both worlds. We can have the visuals and the frame rate on both consoles.
That's not happening.
It could. It could.
I would still like.
I
don't know. Keep the option because I like having the options to be able to pick. The one thing I hate, which I ran into the issue with, which Watch Dogs is, there is no change. Like you can't change performance mode. It's set at 30 FPS, 4K with ray tracing, and you can't do anything about it. And I would very much love if I could get rid of ray tracing and play that game at 60 FPS. Because while ray tracing is beautiful, and it's gorgeous to see all the detail and all the reflections and stuff like that. Playing games at 60 FPS is just, I think, is way more enjoyable for my preference than knocking the FPS and getting water reflections. Like I'll turn on fidelity mode and stuff like that just to kind of check out the environments. And I know I did like some like photo mode stuff in Spider-Man just to get the cool like fidelity effect. But the greater majority of my time on playing like any of the games is just performance mode over and over.
Yeah, I mean that's the way to go. Like to me, I could do without ray tracing. Like I don't really care. Ray tracing looks nice. Don't get me wrong, right? Like I want to turn it on and I want to look at Miles Morales and other games that have ray tracing and stuff like that. But when it comes to like me playing the game, like 60 frames, that's always going to be the primary choice. Especially if you're playing Demon Souls, right? You're gonna need all those frames. You know what I mean? Because I played Demon Souls at like 25, 18 frames per second on the original PS3. So
yeah.
There's no way I'm gonna play that shit at 30 again to give me that PTSD. So
but if you're gonna get your ass handed to you in that game, you might as well get your ass handed to you.
But
60
thankfully,
FPS versus 30.
Right. But thankfully, Bluepoint prioritized the 60 FPS mode first. You know what I mean? Because that's the standard mode for that game. The 30 FPS mode fidelity, that's actually secondary.
Oh, so I just been playing. I guess I've been playing on the performance mode then, and I just didn't even think about changing it.
Yeah, I think like with Spider-Man, I think for the opening sequence, I did fidelity mode.
It was in fidelity right off the bat. Yep.
I did the slowdown moments. I checked. I was like, all right, that's cool. But once I switched it to performance mode, I stuck with it. It just felt better. It looked better given the action that you're doing, the swinging. I feel like the whole, not to say like, I like ray tracing, the idea that it exists in consoles. It looks good, and Spider-Man does it best, obviously, from the with the early games that we have. But I feel like the novelty wears off early, and I feel like the games that I played at higher frame rates, I feel like that stuck with me. I still like. I appreciate that more than those ray traced reflections. So Spider-Man, like I said, it looks good, definitely with ray tracing, but playing it at 60 is just different. And then I find it more impressive because it's an open world. It's you got a lot going on, and it maintains it. And it feels good. And I like even though it doesn't use it heavy, but I do like what they do with the DualSense in that game. Like feeling like
but some of these games have ray tracing and 60 FPS. Like Call of Duty, you could play that with ray tracing on and 60 FPS.
Yeah, if you can,
and Devil May Cry.
Those
Devil
are
May Cry too.
that are traced in Call of Duty. So
right.
So I guess
the ray
like
trace shadows,
as like So
I have
depends on how demanding the ray tracing is.
I have
implementations.
I did have a question since we were talking about Call of Duty.
Yep.
I ran into the issue where I had to turn ray tracing off on Call of Duty on my Series X because the one map in multiplayer where it's like the big sand map. I don't know what is going on. Like I recorded, but like the shadows and the textures and everything would just mess up on that map to the point where the game was almost unplayable.
Yeah,
and if I turned ray tracing off, that issue went away.
Ray tracing in multiplayer is different from ray tracing in campaign. Campaign has the better visuals than the multiplayer. I always turn up RT and multiplayer.
In multiplayer, should be shut off by default. It should be disabled by default.
I don't know what it was doing, but that was like the only map that I had the problem with playing Call of Duty multiplayer on the Xbox. It's just something about that map was just like not wanting to agree with my system with ray tracing on at all. And I was just like, all right, I'm just going to turn this off because it's like it was unplayable.
It's bad in multiplayer. I have PC and accidentally I would try to live stream while playing Modern Warfare, and RTX will be on, and dude, my FPS will tank, my stream will crash, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then I find out, hey, RTX is on for no reason. Like, let me just turn this off, and it helped out a lot. I don't know. RTX in the multiplaper game, in my opinion, doesn't make sense. In single player,
it seems unnecessary.
You're not even worried about reflections and how pretty shiny objects look when you're playing multiplayer. You're wanting to kill people.
That's it. Like you're more focused on
more
other things,
on the objectives and stuff. You ain't worried about the puddle of water reflecting.
Yeah, no, all true. So, Coke Boy, what is like our the first topic? I know we had some things from like Digital Foundry. We got Phil Spencer interview. We got an update from Ubisoft. So what do we have? Like, what should we tackle first?
I mean, we can get into the Ubisoft update. If you want to get into in depth with that.
Yeah. So Ubisoft sent out a patch note for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which they will be sending out an update which will allow the Series S version of the game to be 60 frames per second. They're going to add a fidelity mode and a quality mode to the Xbox Series S. They've also addressed the screen tearing and the frame rate issues that was found on the Series X per Digital Foundry, so that's supposed to be fixed. And both the Series X and PS5 will be getting a quality performance mode and a fidelity mode, which they're going to probably have them at 4K 30, and then to keep their dynamic targets to hold to 60 frames per second. So look for it, and that's supposed to be launching tomorrow. So I play Assassin's Creed like every day, but I'll probably hold off today, play something else until that update comes tomorrow. They usually launch those things in the morning, but it's a good sign. And it's not the first time a Digital Foundry analysis like kind of helped a game get like a patch. I know Doom and Wolfenstein had got like plenty of them because of it, and Dirt 5 is also working on a patch to improve the Series X version because they improve its visuals because there were some errors there as well. But yeah, it's good. I mean, I'm a Assassin's Creed fan. I'm loving Valhalla. So anything they can do to improve it for everyone, I think that would be a good sign. So, and then also for the Series S to have it going at 60. I refused to play it on my Series S because it was limited to 30. But it was, even though it's a smooth, well performing 30, but the fact that I know I can play it at 60 on the Xbox Series X or PlayStation, it just wasn't getting touched on that until they patched that in. So now I would definitely give it a try there. Anybody else thoughts on Ubisoft?
Why are they, for the PS5 and the X, why are they having two modes? Like, are they enhancing the performance mode, which is technically the default mode?
Mm-hmm.
Are they enhancing that so it at a smoother 60 frames?
But I know they're fixing it, but I think I guess to do it just to get the higher fidelity out. Because all right, just to give you a little backstory,
it looks good. Like it plays fine.
But they're pretty much locked, anyways. Both versions are pretty much locked.
Why the fidelity mode? I don't understand why they're doing that. But
well, just to give you guys a heads up,
with the game.
Just to give you guys a heads up, though, right? The game was targeting and was initially meant to be 30 FPS. What happened was when the rumors or that it was going to hit 60, because remember they never confirmed 60 until literally like a month before the game launched. I'm under the impression from what I heard that the game was a last minute decision to do, and it was changed like mid development. Before the game going, and that's why some games are. That's why the Series S is actually 30 frames, not because it couldn't. It's just that was the target. It was initially the target, and I think they saw the disappointment in how everybody was reacting to 30 frames on like next gen. I think they did it and then got like really sort of like the shock value, and once they saw that they got it running at 60, and then you could consider like what it's doing on the PlayStation 5 and the Series X to say that's good enough to be like, that's 60 frames. It's not a problematic 60 frames. The biggest issue, which Dre can attest to as well, is the screen tearing that takes place, which takes place on both consoles. And like unless you have like a VR display, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel and see it. But that's the main thing they have,
right?
Yeah, that's the main thing that they really had to. They had to
gotta
like
fix
really
that one part on the Series X where it drops to like 47 frames and it just stays there for a while.
They could, that would be nice, but at that point I'm already past that moment. I'm never going to see that moment again.
I'm just saying they're patching the game, right? They're patching the game. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That should be also included.
Yeah, but screen tearing is persistent, like multiple like throughout the experience. Like what we saw in that was like a moment at the beginning of the game where, I mean, after that it's not like you're gonna go back and see that. Yeah, it would be nice for the next person, obviously, that just gets the game, so they
need to smooth it out. Period.
Yeah.
Like so.
That's probably gonna come.
Play it. Yeah.
But
that's actually a good transition into the Phil Spencer stuff. But go ahead, Dre. Go ahead.
What are they adding to fidelity mode? Like, are they?
That's 4K. It's just gonna be 4K.
So they're doing two modes for the PS.
Every console will have two modes right now. Because here's the thing. Here's what happened. Right, the PS5 and Series X only had a performance mode, and that's what it's running at 60 frames per second. The Series S only had a fidelity mode, which is at 30 frames. But the thing is, people assume the game on Series S is actually running above 1080p. I think it's like 1200 to 1656p dynamic resolution, but at 30 frames per second. So obviously, performance mode on Series S is probably going to take a hit at 900p to 1080p maybe. Just judging by how previous Ubisoft games or Assassin's Creed ran on just like last gen, but it should, based on like specs alone, the Series S should be able to do 60 frames per second on a game. Not considering resolution, it should just be able to do 60 frames per second, given the CPU power of the Series X, the Series S, and the PS5. It should do it. Now, with resolutions, we'll find out tomorrow.
Help once they do the analysis.
But I am in the market for like a freaking a nice 1080p like 120 hertz monitor if I can get one, just a nice quality one, because for me to play this freaking Series S on, I realize every display in this house is a 4K display.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, I'm like, damn, I'm not gonna. I want to be sure I do this little console justice. The other thing that happened is that we can also speak on is while we're talking about performance, Digital Foundry, looked at a lot of games, and then even other like smaller channels who have like the ability to compare like frame rates and count resolutions. We're looking at games such as Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Dirt 5, and I'm trying to think if there's, and Devil May Cry is an older one that has been compared, but
have they done 2K yet?
No, and 2K is not.
No.
They're never
do they
gonna
ever
do it.
do 2K?
No
I've never
sports
seen them
game has
cover it.
ever been done. Just to give you a heads up, they're not in
No sports games.
Yeah,
Okay.
Digital Foundry is never going to do a sports game. They're never going to do.
Well, I think they have before, but they haven't of late though. Like,
what last sports game?
You
have
know what?
seen them do?
I think they might have done FIFA. Because they're European, so they might have done FIFA.
I'm about to look up what was the last sports game that they did.
Yeah, so we could start with like, so obviously there's some results going on. People are like there's cases where the PlayStation is doing better. There's cases where the Xbox is doing better, but in the cases where PlayStation is doing better, it does come at a surprise when you consider the games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which we hear is getting a patch tomorrow, Dirt 5, which I got a lot to say because like people have been really getting on my last nerves when it comes to comparison.
That Dirt 5 was funny though. That comparison was funny as shit. You gotta admit.
Here's the thing.
Was a funny
The thing about the Dirt 5. All right, so the thing is that okay, they're pretty much equivalent with the exception of the image quality mode. The PlayStation 5, I think, managed to have a slightly better looking.
Pretty
textures.
much, the Series X had the grass cut while the PlayStation had the overgrown grass. That's pretty much what it was.
But that shit always happens though. Like,
And then
when we go back to these comparisons, like they always show like Xbox and PlayStation side
but
by
this was
side.
in the
Like,
in the
one
mo-
looks darker, one looks lighter.
In the modes,
Like,
everybody's going to be
No, it was textures missing. It wasn't dark.
No.
and light.
In the modes, everybody's going to be playing. They're both pretty much kind of close to it. The biggest drop off was the 120 frames mode, which everybody's using as the standard. Like that's what's really pissing me off. But so in the 120 hertz mode, the PlayStation has definitely from the comparison they did, the PlayStation 5 version is definitely using higher textures in that mode. The Xbox version, like it was scaled back. And the PlayStation, so the details look better, whether it be like the headlights or the foliage from the top view of the cars and stuff like that. So that obviously would look better on PlayStation at 120 frames, even though the resolution on both was like 900p to like 1440p max, right? The Xbox Series S, Digital Foundry highlighted that its lowest resolution that they counted in a dynamic res, which is always going to happen in terms of finding the lowest resolution. And in the case for the Series S, pushing 120 frames per second, the lowest count was like 570, which is sub HD, which everybody, the thing that make this a problem is because everybody's now running around saying, oh, it's 570p. Not that it's 570p in 120 hertz mode, which if you only going to experience it if you have 120 hertz display. So a lot of these people are stuck on a 60 hertz display only, and they're talking shit about this. So, and then the whole 576p, they're talking like as if that's the fixed permanent resolution of the game on the Xbox Series S. And I just, the thing about these side by sides is that people take the lowest possible thing and then they use that and they share that as that's what the game is doing 100% of the time, and that's such a disservice to anybody who's interested in a particular game. Like, and that's what annoys the shit out of me. I mean, it does happen on both sides, but
Like
I feel like people are going.
grab like the lowest common thing and then they kind of run with it to nauseum. So
Right.
then you just tired of hearing that shit. So
Like they try
I
to
mean,
do it with
it does a dishonest to folks who are trying to get into the ecosystem of either console. This is like when you're running around just like spreading just like a lot of misinformation, then ain't nobody gonna want the shit. Like
Yeah. So you know how many, like, I feel like since July, Dirt just lost like potential customers. Like from, you got this little fucking fake ass developer saying it looks like a mobile game, and you got this
But he came back and took the shit back, and it was like he took some of his comments back, and it's just like, bro, before you say stuff like that, like just kind of wait, like hold off, and just hold up, like damn.
And now everybody believes the Xbox Series S version is permanently running at 576p. I'm like, you guys, are you kidding me?
Nobody's really thinking like it's permanently running. It's just funny. It's just, people
Some
just
people are.
poking jabs at it. You know what I mean? Especially those those dickheads on Twitter, like those extremists that's always spreading misinformation, like that Astle guy and the blue violent whatever his name is or whatever. So
I don't even know these people. So you naming like
but I'm just saying that Smooth know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, Smooth. They know who I'm talking about. So that's why it gets blown out of proportion. It's both ways. People gonna blow shit out of proportion. You know what I mean? This is like the Series X and the PS5. Like they're pretty much running the same. One may have one where the frames drop, but then the other one may have one where the frames drop on that one. But they're pretty much running the same shit. Like pretty much the same performance.
I mean, they should be able to though. For them to have drops and everything, like I mean, all types of games have drops, and it's just like, but like both of these consoles are good in their respective areas. So it's just like they should be able to run these games like pretty good. And just granted that this is the beginning of a gen, like I mean, you're gonna have shit that's not all out familiar with both consoles.
We know the situation with Xbox. Those dev kits were sent out later because they wanted to finalize their specs too. The pandemic
to hold off on some shit.
That's why I want an Optimus Code to come on here so he can explain that.
I got a question.
But it's just like folks ignoring that is just like dumb as hell, because it's just like how are you going to ignore that, like that they held off for a bit, even if that's their fault. Like he said it, like he held off on like just to get some extra shit. So
I got a question about that.
Yeah.
Because I've been seeing everybody talking about this GDK and how the tools are not developed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is the Xbox Series X not more powerful than the PS5 without the mature tools?
Yeah, but you have
on paper.
It's funny.
On paper.
Go ahead.
On paper.
I'm gonna tear up your whole argument right now.
So shouldn't it off just the muscle?
No.
Shouldn't off the muscle? These games should be performing better on Xbox than PS5. So it's like basically what you. It's like what you're telling me is that the Xbox Series X right now is on par with the PS5. That's basically what everybody is saying.
Right, an unoptimized system that devs don't know how to program for it. Yes, right now.
That's bullshit. Because the dirt guy
let me finish.
Let
me finish.
The dirt guy said it. That's complete bullshit.
Hold on. Let me finish.
It is behind, but it's not going to give no significant boost that people think it.
I'm not saying it's going to give a significant boost.
I think that's false because he's
all right. Just be like. Okay,
let me read the quote. It said, all right, Phil Spencer says, "We are aware of the performance issues in the handful of optimized titles on Xbox Series X and Series S, and we are working with our partners to identify and resolve the issues to ensure an optimal experience. As we begin a new console generation, our partners are just now scratching the surface of what next-gen consoles can do, and minor bug fixes are expected as they learn how to take full advantage of our new platform. We're eager to continue working with our developers to further explore the capabilities of Xbox Series X and Series S in the future. They are just scratching the surface. They don't know how to develop and optimize their games for the system yet. But that's the issue.
But
But
How-
he's saying,
and it's not like
just off
it's
the
not like
raw
PC.
specs. Like,
See,
you should be
and
able
the
to
issue
do
is
but
it.
just
you're
by raw
thinking-
power alone, it should
listen,
just automatically
Right.
outperform it.
Right,
and you're
right,
thinking
right.
it's like PC. If all right, I take out
Yeah,
my
it's not like
2070
PC,
Super
exactly.
and put that fucking 3080 in there, and I'm gonna gain more frames. No, it
Every
doesn't work
time.
like that.
So what is the,
These are fixed function consoles where you have to learn how to develop your games for these systems.
so
That's
is
the
the,
biggest issues.
is the Series X not more powerful than the
It is
PS5 right now?
It is on paper, but if you don't know how to develop for your system, this is what's going to happen. Was the PS3 not more powerful than the 360? What happened then? Come on,
Like they got.
But nobody
nobody
was bragging about GDKs being
Oh, my-
unoptimized for PS3.
yes, there were. Yes, there
that
were.
was the
That was the biggest
That's true,
issue.
and
You couldn't
here's the
you
thing.
couldn't
Hold on,
program your game to the PS3.
Bro,
Yeah, the
hold on.
coding,
Nobody brought up the dev kit. Like everybody was talking about how it's gonna, it's gonna smoke the PS5. Nobody in June, nobody in March, nobody was saying.
Chris,
that
was I
the
saying
dev
that?
kits were gonna be behind, so
Well,
you might see
exactly.
the
All right,
PS5 and the Xbox
Chris,
Series
Chris,
X
hold
at
up,
the
hold
same
up.
level.
Well,
Nobody
who-
was saying that
hold up,
shit.
But who
Nobody
has
was
information
saying
on that?
Was I one of those people saying that Xbox
Code.
Series X was going to smoke PS5? Yes or no?
I'm not talking to you directly. I'm just saying,
Okay.
like, to people listening to, like, the people.
Yeah, but you're assuming
people
that-
talk about
Is
this
is
shit all
that
the
the
time.
point?
Who
The
had that
point is
information
that-
though? I don't.
But,
Only when I got.
but everybody had it. But everybody had information about the PS5 and the Series X and how
Here's
they
the
were going
thing.
to perform before they came out.
Didn't your favorite person, Jason Schreier, say the Xbox is
They came
coming in
in
He was
hot?
the only one that said it.
Yeah.
Nobody listened to it.
The
That's
only
one
thing
I
that
always
had
bring
me,
up.
the only thing that had me shook was after the Xbox May event when the Blooper team had an interview and they were asking when they premiered the Medium and they were asking, hey, so how was it working? How is it working with the Xbox Series X? And the guy said, well, we've only had our dev kits for like a couple days, and this was in May after their game premiered. So I'm like, oh, I'm like. I was like, so they got to put their game on the system and have it running in 6 months because at that time I thought it was a launch title, right? So that was that. So the thing is that in terms of and you mentioned the Dirt guy saying like, oh, it's not going to be a difference. No disrespect
the
to the
actual
dude, he's
developer said
actually
that.
not he's not even using any of the Features the Series X offer outside of like the being able to do he was taking advantage of the throughput maybe if anything, but he's not taking advantage of he's not even using velocity architecture.
Okay,
Exactly.
that's cool.
Like,
That's the same- okay,
he
that's
can't
cool.
even
But
say how much
they
games it
do
would get
as
if he
well.
if he doesn't have anything in practice to see what
Yeah, to
what it would
base it
have
off
done.
of.
He doesn't have
No,
anything
so-
to base it
I
on.
don't know.
Let me-
That's what the developer
Moving
said.
though,
That's
but
what
let me ask y'all a
that's what the
All right,
developer
go ahead.
said.
Ask the question. Go ahead.
Let me
No,
so-
what I was gonna
Go
say
ahead, Chris.
that's cool and all right. Like hold on, I believe the whole the Series X dev kits, were further behind and they arrived. Like here, don't get me wrong. Like I'm not saying that that's not the case and that's not one of the possibilities why we're seeing results like this. But what I'm saying is like if anybody thinks that like when these tools mature and shit like that, because I've been paying attention to what developers are saying and what other people who knows about this shit telling me, they're saying if how some people are making it look like if you think that these tools are just gonna give it a boost to where you're gonna see significant gains over the PlayStation 5, is like it's not gonna go down like that. Like because the PlayStation
correct.
5 is gonna be doing the same shit because at best what's gonna happen is this is what's gonna happen. It's gonna go back and forth. Right, you're gonna have the Series X at one point, right? With the PS5, the FPS are dropping, right, in one scene or whatever, right? Then it'll be like, well, the Series X is doing it better, right? Then you're gonna have another multi-plat that does the same shit. But here's the thing: at best, they're gonna be pretty much on par, probably going back and forth or leapfrogging or whatever, which is still a W for the PlayStation 5 because it was supposed to be the weaker hardware. It was supposed to perform less. You were supposed to see native 4K on the Series X and dynamic 4K on the PS5, the way some of y'all made it out to be. So now it's not like that no more. So we need to shut about the
All right.
comparison.
And the console generation is also only 2 weeks old.
Trey said he got a
Like, this
question.
man is-
Trey got a question. Ask the question, because
and this is for you and Kid.
Gotcha.
30 days yet.
This is for you and Kid Smooth. And Smooth. Put this GDK stuff in the back of your mind real quick.
Okay.
Were y'all expecting the PS5 to outperform the Series X?
No.
Because what you guys are basically saying is that, well, we should have expected this because the GDKs aren't up to snuff.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that months ago. Now that there's more information,
new information out, then that changes the perspective on the situation. Of course, if people were running with that at first and they thought that both dev kits were out in the wild, proper dev kits were out in the wild, let me bring some sense to it. You find out that the shit was not there now. So it changes on like what these devs could do, what they know, and what they could apply to their games. Like so it completely changes it. So that's new information. Like that's unheard of information now that we have. So that's what people are basing it off of.
Yeah, but the information we were receiving from the Coke guy and dealer guys that we were supposed to be seeing this 40 to 50%.
Look, I don't know
more power from the Series X.
Look, I don't know where you got that.
Here we go.
That's your beef with them. That's your beef with them. Yeah, I never heard.
I don't know
anybody from Planet Xbox say any of that 40 to 50%
I don't know
performance increase.
Where he heard it from. Period. But the point is what I'm trying to make is that based off of paper, this is what it was, right? Okay, and then we find out that they didn't get the dev kits at the right time. They held off on the dev kits, and there are specific advantages that the Xbox has in those proper dev kits. Okay, so for all of those devs who didn't have that shit, like they gonna have some half-ass type of like game on the Series X.
Actually,
am I right or wrong?
I'm actually rather impressed now, knowing that they didn't get final dev kits until June, and their games came out in November.
But it's not gonna go the way y'all think it's
gonna go. Hold on, wait a minute. They didn't get dev kits in June.
That's what I'm
keep thinking that way. Keep thinking that way. Keep thinking that way. Watch what happens.
It's just like y'all gonna learn. It's just like I don't know what you're winning.
So think about it. When we saw,
I really don't. Like,
think about it, when we saw PlayStation gameplay right in July. When was it? July or June when they had their showcase, that major showcase where we were seeing.
It was June.
It was June, right? So when we saw seeing PlayStation gameplay, the major developers did not have Series X dev kits. That's crazy.
Smooth, look at the chat. This guy said it perfectly. He says Xbox Series X is basically brute forcing it right now. It's not even, a lot of these games aren't even optimized to use the system. It's just brute forcing it to get that performance. Once these developers really understand how to get the most out of the specs out of this system, it's going to be a different ball game. Now, I'm not going to sit up here and tell you it's going to be 40 to 50% better than PS5. No. But it's going to be more consistent performance.
Exactly.
That's it. It's just consistency.
So you're gonna have better tools, and you're gonna get better like games brought out of that. Like if they don't understand the tools yet, you give them some time. Like PlayStation was already out for like a whole year. These people had enough time to work with what they had, with what they knew. Like
I'm not understanding what are y'all trying to say? If it's brute forcing it. Is it not brute?
Doesn't make,
Is it
like that? Doesn't make
brute
it
force not
perfect.
What are we talking
it's
about?
It's not going to brute force it more than
it's not that fucking hard to understand.
Okay, so what have developers been saying since both of these console specs been out? Tell me what developers have been saying about
what
each
console
one of these
specs? Like if they didn't have the GDKs for that long though.
Oh my god, dude! Alright, bro.
I got a question.
Bro, every single time I've been right,
what would happen?
You winning a trophy for this?
Question.
Question. It's like, bro, it's like y'all keep thinking about shit is gonna happen that's not gonna happen, and people who are in the know, y'all trying to tell me how dev tools and shit like that work?
No, I'm not telling you how the fucking tools work, bro. I'm telling you that if they didn't have something and they couldn't get used to it, then they couldn't produce the best product. That's what I'm telling you.
Let's
bring facts.
Let's relax.
Hold on. The Xbox GDKs were behind, right? Something that was said last December, right? Somebody reported on that, said a few developers told me, right? So that's true. That's 100% true, right?
Okay.
The same person also reported that numerous developers have told him that as far as hardware, PlayStation 5 is just the better hardware. It doesn't
They
matter
had
the
it the
platform.
longest.
But they also didn't have
They had
they
it
also
the
didn't have
longest.
Xbox dev kits at the time.
Yo, I'm telling you, if you've been
What I'm
taking,
saying-
listen,
What I'm
let me
saying is
finish.
this is what
Let me
developers
finish.
are saying.
You've been
These are what
doing-
devs are
I
saying,
understand.
not me.
Bro, if you've been taking algebra for 2 fucking years versus somebody that's been taking it for 1, bro, you are most likely gonna know more about algebra than the motherfucker that's been taking that shit for a year.
Bingo.
Assuming
Well,
both of you
say
guys
right
are
now-
competent.
I ain't gonna know shit about algebra.
Bingo.
Copeboy, the question
all-
I
that's
have,
don't
all
either,
it
but
is.
the
You
book
can
is
put
like,
out. I
That's
could
all it is.
read an algebra book for years.
the question I have for you, Copeboy, is like, let's say if we both have like 2070s cards, right?
Yeah.
And I put all my shit on Ultra and like set everything to the highest possible settings, right? But you take your card and you adjust to what your card can do. Who's gonna have the better performance, me or you?
No. Here's the perfect example of this, right? You have an RTX 2070. I have a 2070 Super, right? But my 2070 Super has day 1 drivers, and your 2070 has better drivers than mine, the most up-to-date drivers. You're most likely going to outperform my card, assuming that developers made sure that their drivers are better on your card, the most up-to-date drivers, besides my day 1 drivers, because my card is unoptimized. That's the best example. But there's certain times where you can just straight brute force it. So if you have an RTX 2070 versus a 2080, that 2080 is just gonna brute force performance out the fucking water. But they're very close in performance. That's the thing. The PS5 and Xbox Series X is very close in performance. It may seem like it's a gap, but it's not a big gap.
All right, let's move on. It got a little hot there, right? Phil Spencer had an interview with The Verge, talked about a lot of things. People, I guess, were looking at him sideways because of his comments on console tribalism. And I'm gonna go to our guests on this one just to see their thoughts, where you guys are heads are at in terms of like, you know, where, you know, console wars stand and fanboyism and all this other stuff that takes place. We haven't heard from old man for a little bit, so I just want to go to you first on this one.
No, I had to sit that one out right there because that was some hot water. No, I mean I agree. Like the whole fanboy, I'm wholeheartedly firsthand. I'm just a gamer. I own all the systems, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo. It don't matter. So like, I never get into like being like, oh, this side's better and try to like shoot for one team. I just love games. So just to see like people constantly trying to drag another side down because it's not their preferred platform or they're not into that ecosystem. I don't know. It's just kind of disheartening. I like just enjoying games, playing with friends. I love that crossplay has become like a bigger thing because now the barrier between ecosystems with PlayStation, Xbox, or PCs getting torn down, you know, little by little. Like, I just think games are for everyone, and it shouldn't matter what platform you choose. I mean, everything's all personal preference. Every system has their perks and their pluses and their minuses. And it's just all over the place with the tribalism and the console war and the fanboy like stuff. I was just hope everybody could kind of put that stuff away and just love playing games. And that's my stance. I just love games. Everybody's like talking about Assassin's Creed out, you know, performing better on the PlayStation 5 over the Xbox Series X. I'm like, but I'm still like, that does not affect me at all. I'm still loving playing Assassin's Creed on my Series X. I don't really notice, you know, any like frame rate dips and stuff like that. I'm just a guy just enjoying a game. So it's just, I don't know. It's just crazy. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it.
I can't really comment much because I'm usually leading the charge. And
I know this playing Xbox or whatever. I mean, I love both. I will say I prominently play my Xbox more. I don't know how many games on my tag. I know I have like 300 and some thousand plus gamer score. So like it's predominantly like my system. Also, my wife just has an Xbox. So like if we're doing co-op stuff, she doesn't have a PlayStation. So it's anything co-op or multiplayer stuff we do on the Xbox. So it's definitely, my preferred platform, but you're not going to stop me from playing the next Sony exclusive, and you're not going to sit there and I'm not going to be like, oh, I predominantly play my Xbox, but I'm not going to play this awesome PlayStation game.
Yeah.
Because I'm just on like this team.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a self-proclaimed like Xbox fan, but I call myself the best spot. It is what it is. It's like I can't help. I am biased. I will admit that. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but like my bias doesn't stop me from getting like a PlayStation or anything like that. Like there's people that are where their bias would stop them from experiencing the console. Like so that is like. It's like I will tell you I like Xbox better. I prefer Xbox, but obviously there's a reason to play on PlayStation. They have some amazing first party content. I mean that's kind of always been the case. Honestly, that's pre fanboy kids move.
PS2.
Yeah, so
even original PlayStation, man, it's just been a place to go for them.
Yeah, like even down to like back in the day when I used to play, like when I used to be big into wrestling, they had the best wrestling games. Like SmackDown was a better wrestling game than Raw and WrestleMania 18 and whatever the Nintendo versions were dropping. But like like I don't know, it is what it is. But it's a fun thing. So the tribalism thing is it happens, and Phil Spencer always sees it like firsthand. Whether he buys a studio and everybody's asking him, are you putting the thing on PlayStation? Are you putting this thing on this? Or like the thing is he sees it firsthand because he's always getting tagged, whether it be by Xbox guys or PlayStation guys making fun of him with memes and all this other unnecessary stuff. So he's been put through the ringer. And this comment, people, I guess, I don't know, had like issues with it. I'm just like, Chris, what was your thoughts of when this article posted?
Which one?
The Phil Spencer.
The tribalism?
He had the interview with The Verge, and he says I think he said console tribalism is like the worst thing in the industry or something like that.
Yeah, because look, every time he tweets, right?
Oh my God!
He'll get a lot of people attacking him. He'll get a lot of PlayStation fanboys attacking him or whoever, right? So to me, it's like, yeah, you know what I mean. Like I participate in the console wars, but it's usually on a more side. I'm just fucking around and having fun. Because I said before, like I don't care what anybody owns. Like, yo, you gotta.
We lost.
I guess.
Where do you go?
I guess my just thing is like, I guess you could have a side, right? But it's just my issue is when you come to just tearing down the other side for enjoying the things that they love, and especially like I comment back if you do go through Phil Spencer's feed, dude, it's just like I don't know, like he's just trying to do the best and run the Xbox brand as best as he can. You just got these people constantly just sending him hate message over and over and over and over and over, and I can't imagine like how tiring that could get over time.
Yeah.
Like he's a human being, and he's just on Twitter just getting berated by people that don't even know him.
Oh, can you hear me? I got kicked out.
Yeah, you got yeah.
Oh shit. Now what I was trying to say, my bad. I was trying to say, I just do it around poking it around. The one like the people who I really can't stand, right, has nothing to do with what their platform of choice. Is the one who come out here and say like blatant misinformation, blatant lies, and push it off as truth. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. Like that's the shit I can't say. That's the people I mainly go out. So whenever you see me like rant on this on Planet Xbox, I'm usually not talking about the people, you know what I mean, in here. I'm usually talking about like the people that I always see, you know what I mean, on social media and shit like that, which I shouldn't.
Misinformation.
Yeah, but which I shouldn't, right? But to me, I just fuck around. I don't even go at Xbox that hard at all. Like you can ask these guys here, like, yeah, I say some shit, you know what I mean, they might not agree with, but at the end of the day, it's like me, I plan on getting a Xbox, a Series X, whenever Fable comes out. So in 2 years, 3 years, maybe, you know what I mean? Or if another game, if Bethesda if Starfield and Elder Scrolls is only on, Xbox and them shits are amazing, I'm gonna pick up a Series X, you know what I mean, right then. So to me, it's like it's just like I like PlayStation. That's my preference, you know what I mean. So, but I just like fucking around and having fun. I never take it far though. Like I never like insult, you know what I mean, or anything like that. Like I never threaten anybody or you know what I mean. I don't even make fun of people just because they like, Xbox or PC or Nintendo or PlayStation or whatever. But at the same time, I try to keep it real on both sides, because sometimes I see people like on the PlayStation side that be on some bullshit too, that I try to call out as well, because there are some, like very toxic people on the PlayStation, side everywhere. That's what I say, everywhere. So I try to at least keep it, you know what I mean? Like if I see somebody like Omega or whatever saying some crazy shit, I'll be like, nah, bro, like don't be doing that shit in our community. That's overboard. But other than that, if you're just poking fun, you know what I mean? Hey, Assassin's Creed runs better, or Call of Duty runs better, and you're just poking fun. At the end of the day, it's really not gonna matter. You're just gonna play whichever one you want to play on. Then I don't see like I don't know. I don't see the big deal of people people just having fun.
Let me give a shout out to Lee Robinson 5. Don't worry, dude. I did not forget your super chat. He says X. I want to say he's saying X is greater than PS5 on paper and off paper. PS5 programming is similar to the PS4, so it's easier to program for, while X isn't similarly programmed to the one. Anybody want to tackle that?
Does anybody remember? I know everyone was talking about PS3 earlier, but everyone remember what made PS3 so difficult to program for?
Cell architecture.
Cell architecture. Everything. Yeah, everything right now that games are developed around is x86 processors.
Yeah.
So cell processor wasn't x86, so it's a completely different programming language that you have to have devs learn to program for, and then put their games on there. So I'm not sure if anybody remembers here in the stream, here in the chat. It was really revolutionary for its time. It was really fast, but it's hard to program for because nobody knows what to do with it. And if you remember, a lot of games that were cross gen actually looked better and ran better on Xbox 360 because it was easy to program for 360 versus PS3. Now, first party understood how to make games. So like games like Uncharted 2, Infamous 2, I mean, they looked absolutely stunning on that system.
So compared Skyrim to PS3 360.
The point I was getting at was that all of those games came at the end of the PlayStation 3 generation.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. In the beginning,
towards the middle end, and then the end.
Towards the middle end, yes. And that's when PlayStation 3 really started to make their gains. Because they decided to do something new, it took longer for developers to catch up. I think kind of what the point that I'm getting at is that this is kind of what you're seeing with Xbox Series X. They're the only one who decided to fully wait for RDNA 2, where PlayStation said we don't need that. Like we'll mix in some RDNA 2 features, but we're gonna make sure that we have our dev kits out early. Yeah. We're gonna make sure that
and their own custom features as well. They have stuff in there that's custom as well that people don't know about right now.
Yeah,
but that makes sense though. Like that, why the certain titles and everything are showing better. It's just like they thought ahead and they were like, "Hey, look, like we about to produce some of our own features mixed in." And then get our shit out ahead of time while Xbox waited.
Now here's
so that's their fault though that they waited. But I mean, hey, they think it's worth it in the end.
I've been saying this for weeks.
Down the line.
We don't have a true next gen game from either side.
No,
also we don't, because there's stuff from the PS5 as well that are not being fully utilized, especially that IO system and those co-processors. Dude, these install sizes should be way smaller if these games are optimized around their SSDs, because you don't have to duplicate data. But they're still duplicating data because some of these games are still on current gen or on the previous gen, on Xbox One and PS4. So there's a lot of stuff in terms of level design that we haven't even grasped yet. That's why I'm telling people, a lot of these games right now are not really next gen. They're just like old gen games being upscaled. Stuff. Yeah, they're just cross-gen games.
Stuff. And they're utilizing some of the power, but we're not scratching the surface in terms of like next gen and what these consoles will show later on down the line. So people
even Insomniac said that shit.
Yeah, so people going out of their way to compare. Oh, my bad.
Like right now, we are the early adopters. We are the game.
Yeah, of course.
We are figuring out what works with the console and what doesn't, and we're reporting those issues back to PlayStation. Like, we're free work for them right now, pretty much.
Yeah. I had to send five reports for Spider-Man.
Yeah. Like, we are free work for Sony and Microsoft right now. That's what we are. And we're getting to enjoy some games in the process.
Yeah.
Next generation does not start until 2022, 2023, when they abandon previous generation hardware and they optimize this current generation that we're going into.
And
Like,
they have like a better understanding. Like to think about like if they have like if they make like God of War 3 and they have like a better understanding of what the PS5 can do, like it's gonna look way better than what God of War 2 is going to look. And it's gonna have like certain capabilities that like maybe God of War 2 doesn't have. So it's just like it makes sense just to like, I mean, how all of these gens go, well, like we get some of our best games towards the mid and end of them. Because all of these devs have a better understanding of the tech that's in both systems.
That's always naturally gonna evolve like that. Like both of these consoles, like the Series X is gonna get better, and so is the the PlayStation 5. My thing is I don't think like there's gonna be a significant advantage for either one. You know what I mean? Like as far as multi-plat goes, but as far as like
more consistent performance from the Series X, it should perform better.
Yeah,
like Series X
we're gonna see consistent performance. Absolutely. But as far as like the thing I'm most excited for is level design and gameplay designs that couldn't be done because of hardware limitation with the PS4 or whatever. So you know what I mean. And if you look at that Mark Cerny presentation, he talks about like the architecture that that utilizes that. It's not just the SSD. It's like the shit around the SSD, the IO, and all that shit. Like how that's gonna help kind of break away that what I mean. That the developers from having to do the same shit they've been doing for 20 years as far as designing the level and stuff like that. And I expect something similar to that with the Series X with the velocity architecture, because that hasn't been utilized either. So. You know what I mean? As far as we know, right? The velocity architecture hasn't been utilized, and neither has the PlayStation 5, whatever they're calling. I think they're calling it the Kraken or some shit like that. I don't know.
That's a Kraken decompressor.
I think that the first true next generation game that we're gonna see is probably Hellblade 2.
Yeah.
I think that's the only game that's
like 2022, 23 right there.
They haven't announced a date for it. But it's on Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah.
So we know it's not going to be on the previous hardware.
Like the Xbox One or nothing.
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
not
I feel like it's just going to be the series of consoles, and it's just like basing off them switching to Unreal 5. I forgot when, but it was like sometime this year after the announcement of it and everything like that. Like I feel like it's going to be like 22, 23 for that game. Like.
I could see it coming out this holiday, because to me, Hellblade 2 feels like
this holiday or next holiday?
Next holiday.
Okay.
Yeah, so at end of 2021, going into 2022, because I see that being I see Microsoft wanting that game to compete with Horizon, Forbidden West. So I think they're going to kind of come out at the same time. That's just
hopefully. They need to drop some stuff next year from Xbox.
Yeah. They need to
I mean, I think. Well, I know. I don't even think the first next gen game we're getting is actually Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, because the things they're doing
using
with that
the SSD.
When it talks about level design and all that, like that couldn't be done on the PlayStation 4.
No, it definitely couldn't.
You know what I mean? So that's them utilizing the next gen tech with like the fast loading and the SSD or whatever. How they're able to do different level designs and stuff like that. But that's just like the beginning. It's gonna get crazier than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that game totally skipped my mind. You're right about that. Yeah, Ratchet and Clank, what they're doing with their level designs is actually looks really crazy. I'm looking forward to that game.
It's gonna be interesting to see what the Medium does with its level design.
I don't think you're gonna see a lot with level design, because you like.
Oh yeah.
That game was a split screen game with two opposite worlds going on at the same time.
So that's actually how it plays. It plays with the split screen and everything. Oh,
yeah, it plays with the split screen, so you're in two worlds at the same time.
No, oh my, like that's what I was.
Go watch.
Yeah, they have the game. There's gonna be missions where you're required to play in 2 dimensions. Because you're gonna be doing stuff in 1 dimension that activates things in another. Like you will probably have to go into like the medium to get like the like let's say you have to get activate power, right? There might be something in that like the pretty much the I don't know what they call it, the demon realm, to like to activate power in the real world, and then you can continue on in the real world. It won't. The entire game doesn't play out in split screen. It's like I believe 30. You spend 33% of the time in split screen.
Okay, like so parts
like
of it. No, because what I thought it was like kind of like with the Ratchet and Clank SSD. I thought the worlds would switch instantly. Should it be like, oh, you switch into this world and then like the terrain plays? Because they said that it's kind of like modeling two different areas at the same time.
Yeah, but to me, honestly, I think that's just fluff. Like, I mean, I'm not really that impressed. It's not running. It's at 30 frames per second. It's not using ray tracing from what I recall. So it's just really kind of just. I mean,
it's a smaller studio too.
That is true.
Yeah, I'm here.
It's a smaller studio. Like I think what they're doing, I think it's pretty ambitious. So I'm looking forward to the game.
No, like it looks cool.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be interesting if they can deliver on the horror elements properly. I think it'll be pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna be picking that up for sure, playing that on my PC because I really want to check out a lot of these small developer teams that have been like. The Xbox are really trying to highlight like a lot of the indie developers and smaller studios that are trying to come out.
Yeah, they're really good.
From that showcase, I want to support these devs and give them some really good
next month. Call of the Sea comes out, which was
I got that downloaded.
I know y'all were talking about the tribalism, but did y'all see the full? Did y'all actually look at like the full interview where he talked about like how did they pay out for Game Pass?
Yeah, I saw. Could you want to go into detail of that? Because I've read something on it about like how developers he was going by how the approach happens, and I don't think
it's on a company by company basis.
Yeah,
but you were talking about the tribalism thing, and it really just the question really highlighted just how much pro gamer and pro developer Phil Spencer and Xbox are, because they pay for development costs for a lot of games that are on Game Pass without the expectation of those games being exclusive.
That's crazy.
So they've paid full development costs for certain games that have been day one launches on every console.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah. So like they paid full development costs for some of those games, and they paid partial development costs for a bunch of other games that are day one on Game Pass.
Nice.
So like basically like when they pay the development costs, they're not guaranteed. They're not asking for time exclusivity or
like they just want access to the game.
They just want access. So I just thought that was pretty cool.
That's cool, but I mean that does get annoying because like on the other hand though, it's like okay, we know if PlayStation's financing a game for it's not coming
if they finance that game, they're getting that game and you're not. Like,
he's literally feeding the streets, and the thing is that the people who are so invested in the tribalism and the console war shit, like they just want some ammo for the people who come at Phil Spencer, or the people who come at them for liking this platform or being open to Xbox as a platform that provides service to other different platforms. It's just like they just want something that is their own. That they could throw back in motherfuckers' faces. Like I get it. So I understand their frustration, but I also understand his point of it. Didn't he say in that interview that the tribalism and all of that was like one thing that would have him quit the industry? Should I kind of like have him leave Xbox?
Yeah, he says that's the only thing that would make him leave the gaming industry is the tribalism. That's the only thing that would push him away.
And that's the thing, because I had I never jumped into any of these gens like out the gate. So it was like once I got to the Xbox One, I came in off the One S because I didn't like the way Xbox came out at first. You get what I'm saying?
Well, Don Matrick
that was like 2 years.
Yeah.
So it was like 2 years into the gen. So I missed launch titles and all of this stuff. But then like I'm catching that like all of these things are used as like points in somebody's brow, like they're just like, like I mean shit, launch title this, oh the thing can do this, oh the thing can do that. Man. So it's like it's all new shit to me because I've always came in late. Should I came in late for the PS4? Should I came in late for the Xbox? So it was like none of that shit really mattered to me. As long as I came in where they had games that I was interested in, and I go back and I find some gems here and there, shit, I was good. So it's like once I heard a Smooth and I started watching these podcasts and you hear these talking points just like regurgitated over and over again. Oh, it doesn't have this, it doesn't have that. I mean, like, I'm just buying a console just to play games, period.
It's actually
it is
like I was gonna say it's actually quite funny when we talk about console launches, because if you look historically, PlayStation has always had like very poor launch lineup. Really,
this is the best one.
Yeah, this is literally the best launch lineup that they've ever had. And historically, Xbox, even with Xbox One, they've had some pretty good launch lineups. Even with 360, that's like probably one of the best launch lineups ever. And then
Halo on the original Xbox, that's like one of the best launch lineup games.
And then Xbox One with Rise, Son of Rome. I think
I loved Rise.
Rise is really good.
They launched with Forza. Like they had a good launch lineup.
No, they did.
After that, they just
they dropped the ball in a lot of the practices.
We're kind of seeing the opposite spectrum with this launch, where Xbox, they have the hardware edge, but the no launch lineup, whereas last generation PlayStation 4 had no launch lineup, but they had the power edge. So I mean, it's it's just ebbs and flows.
Like GTA 5 showed better on it and shit like that, and like a lot of publications went hard with that shit. So.
Well, no, there's a difference because in last generation, okay, like for right now, we're not really see, at least for the launch games, like this shit can definitely change, right? But at least for the launch games, we're not seeing a power edge right now, because when the PS4, we saw that right away, right? We saw 1080p, 900p, or 900p, 720p, and stuff like that.
PlayStation 4 versus Xbox One at launch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, like a lot of folks went with that. Like
you don't remember that the 900p versus 1080p argument?
Well, Call of Duty was like the one, right? Because it was 720 on Xbox. And
But guess what? But guess what?
Call of Duty and Battlefield 4.
Here's why I can't say I'm not a gamer, because or that I at the end of the day I only care about the games, really. Is because guess which console I ended up buying? It was the Xbox One. I bought the Xbox One. It was $100 more.
You bought a Wii U. You bought a Wii U.
Nah, I ain't buy that shit. It was $100 with the Kinect. It was the weaker hardware. I knew it was the weaker hardware, but guess what? Guess what they had? Guess what Xbox had? They had Killer Instinct. They had Dead Rising. Titanfall looked fucking amazing. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't into Killzone. I wasn't into that. You know what I mean? Second Son was like, yeah, that's one I want to get. But I knew that PlayStation was gonna start dropping bangers, because they always start off weak. But this time, and this is the reason why I think like a lot of these games are cross-gen, because if it wasn't for like Spider-Man, Horizon, and possibly God of War, which I think that's gonna be cross-gen. I'm calling it right now. Horizon's God of War. If they wanted to make it PS5 only, we would have to wait for those games to come out, and then they wouldn't have nothing. It would have been a weak launch. So at least them being cross-gen, they can at least push these games out, right? And they're gonna promote the PS5 version. PS5 is gonna take advantage. You know what I mean? They're gonna take advantage of the PS5 version or whatever. They're still gonna be amazing. At this point, like I'm worried if those games are gonna be greater than that. Like fuck the cross-gen. I've already came in terms. They're gonna be cross-gen.
I know that God of War is gonna be fire. Like I already know that
shit's gonna be fire. So like I ended up getting the Xbox first. But I know the PlayStation was going to come from that heat. But then in this generation, it's like, the Xbox had the power edge and stuff like that on paper or whatever. But then it's like they had Halo lined up, but Halo was a complete mess. So they had nothing else to fall back on. You know what I mean? So the Xbox One launch lineup was like completely like for me is like way better.
Yeah, it was better. Yeah, for sure.
But the saving grace for Xbox may be the Bethesda. That's why they purchased Bethesda, right? Because then now later on in the generation, you know what I mean? Now you might get, you know what I mean? Like the dudes who make the Arcane Studios, right?
Yeah.
They'll produce good games.
Like, but also some of the smaller devs that they have for the smaller titles, like, cause you got the Ascent that comes out like early next.
Yeah, come out early next year.
Like. Yeah, that one looks dope too.
That looks fire.
All right, so next year, I mean, it's looking a little bit better. Headlined by Halo Infinite. You got Scorn, which looks boring but interesting, but boring. Call of the Sea is coming out in December. You got the Ascent, Bright Memory Infinite, the full proper game, and let's see how that turns out. I still think Starfield is 2021.
Nah, no, it's not.
There's a possibility. I
you want to bet?
I feel it's a
I'm not ready to bet, but like I think that would be.
They've been working on it for a grip.
Yeah.
I would say 2022, 2023. I think the biggest thing that we're looking forward to, I don't know what the next big event is, but I think the next thing to look out for is what the initiative is working on. I think that title,
Game Awards show.
The Game Award show.
It's gonna be strong.
Y'all all think? Why does everybody think we're gonna see that game at the Game Awards?
I don't think I'm gonna see a game at the Game Awards show, but the Game Awards show is the next big event.
Nah.
We already know that
like
Halo Infinite
some
has an
type of
update
trailer or
coming
something
soon.
like that. Like I feel like but the Halo update is it isn't a
afterwards.
part of the
Yeah,
game.
they're-
Yeah, they
Yeah,
gotta
like,
tell us.
they
They
said
gotta tell us soon because. All right, so let's start to get out of here because we are approaching. It's I know it's late. I don't know everybody's time zone, but one thing I do want to us to quickly talk about is the
Game Awards.
the Game Awards. I mean, I get the nominations, but like I feel like we'll have a better discussion about it. I think the week of.
Yeah, we could do it next week.
So the Xbox Series consoles have this thing where they can emulate old games like PlayStation, Nintendo 64, Dreamcast.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it's
shit, I saw
working.
that.
It's working to the point where I was like, hey, my Series S, I can turn that one to it because I have the dev. I had the dev mode on the Xbox One before I got ready. I just never used it, right? So I'm like, okay, if it's only $20 and you get access to it just to play like it's just strange just to play like some of these PlayStation classics and Nintendo 64 games and Dreamcast games. Like, oh, I can do it on the Xbox.
Move. You can do that right now on your PC.
Yeah, but it's not an Xbox. So because it's an
Gotta be the
Xbox,
Xbox.
it has to. It's something about. I'm sorry, but this has to go.
This is
somewhere.
amazing, though.
Just
like,
just
No,
the
I
weirdest
get what
thing
you
is
mean.
the Xbox console technically by this have PlayStation backwards compatibility before PS5 gets to play PS1 and PS2 games. Like, I'm just saying, like,
You can run all those emulators better on your PC with more customization.
but doing that on PC is boring. You're expected to do that. Like,
There's always something about. I mean, there's something about the console experience where you're sitting on your couch and playing a game. Like, I have a game,
yeah.
and it's fun playing on my gaming PC. But there's something that doesn't replace sitting on the couch and just relaxing and playing.
No, my bro, like he got a PC shit, and I asked him, bruh, shit, are you gonna unplug your tower and take that bitch upstairs, or to like any TV in the room and plug it in? And he's like, nah. Like,
I'm
so
not
it's
doing
like,
that shit. That shit, my PC's heavy.
yeah, my PC, yo, bro.
This is heavy.
All right, remember I told you guys I was getting a free 2060?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so that it was a 2060 Super box, right? But what was in it was a damn Zotac. So I opened my PC up for nothing, and I was like, "Yo, this is not a 2060." And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, "Zotac." I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" So that didn't go as planned. But if anybody's looking for a Zotac, I got one. Like to send.
You know which model graphics card it is?
Let me open this stupid box. This nice fancy 2060 Super box, and you got this dusty ass.
They put a Zotac in the box. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And you don't even know which Zotac it is.
It's sorry. It is Zotac GeForce GTX 1060.
A 1060? Yo,
6 gigs.
that's crazy.
I mean, you got it for free though, so
You might as well stick with your
My
980 Ti.
Yeah.
Yeah, just stick
Anybody
with
want a
that shit.
1060?
hey, I'll pay the shipping cost. My brother needs a GPU.
Oh man. Yeah, but yeah, that's what it is. Fucking, I never even heard of Zoda. Why would they? All right. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's that we had for today. Obviously, the Game Awards. It looks like I will comment on the Game Awards that PlayStation is leading with 22 nominations. Xbox surprisingly is second with 8, if I'm not mistaken. Nintendo has 5.
I am surprised at that.
Yeah, so looking forward to it. Like I said, from the options they gave me to choose from, I'm only interested in a couple categories. Obviously, Game of the Year. I got to do my voting, but obviously, the Game of the Year is headlined by what The Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima.
The Last of Us.
What is another game? Is it Final Fantasy?
Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Final
Animal
Fantasy,
Crossing. Final
Animal
Fantasy
Crossing.
7.
And Doom Eternal.
Yeah, Doom. Doom's a shoe in, bro. Like they just threw that up in there. Like
The Joystick Awards just
yeah,
it kind of soured my mood.
Oh, good. Why is that?
Just because I felt like this was one of the best years of gaming, just period. That we had, like probably like in the last 5 years, and for Last of Us 2 to sweep so many categories is kind of misleading as to everything that came out this year. Like games like Half-Life Alyx didn't win any awards. You know, Ghost of Tsushima, like that's
were they better than The Last of Us?
Single award, like there's it's just, you know, Final Fantasy VII Remake. I just felt like there were so many great games this year for Last of Us and Naughty Dog to like clean house.
yeah.
It was the greatest game of all time. Was just disappointing to me.
Shit, but that happens like almost like every damn year. Is that like
remember
a lot of these
Naughty
smaller
Dog is the
games,
media darlings.
Every year isn't this strong in gaming though. This is a very
like I'm saying,
gaming.
like I'm saying, like there are like really, really good, impressive, amazing experiences with smaller titles that get like just like shafted like every year. Like you may not even notice them, but it's just like they hit really hard, but they just get like ignored in the shadow of others because it's just like they're very Transformer, Fast and the Furious-esque. Like they're just very short, loud, hot burst, and it's just like everyone's just shook up after that, and they just ignore everything else. So,
all right, guys.
So what game was better than The Last of Us that y'all think The Last of Us shouldn't win?
I don't know. You guys tell me.
Last of Us shouldn't win Game of the Year, but there's like, you know, like they won the audio, like they won
Audio.
It's the certain categories that I guess maybe he's saying is just the categories that they're
audio.
just sweeping in.
The year was so strong for gaming that there's no way Last of Us dominated
everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm not saying Last of Us isn't deserving of Game of the Year. That's not the argument. The argument this was such a strong year for gaming that there's no way Last of Us just swept everything. Like it just kind of felt like the lazy vote. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like the easy pick is like everybody.
For which category though? In particular?
Best audio, I don't agree with. I can agree with Pharaoh on that. Best audio, and then Doom wasn't even nominated. How was Doom not nominated in that category? Doom had
like
amazing
Doom's soundtrack as much as what I like the.
I don't know, man.
I'm not talking about just the soundtrack. I'm talking about the audio design of the game. Like that audio design is amazing.
I mean, for me, if we're gonna go best audio, I'm going Final Fantasy VII Remake. Like,
I don't know. I gotta give it.
That has one of the best scores. Like, they're literally like doing like tours across the country for their music.
Yeah, like, is audio just the score though? Isn't it like all audio?
Yeah,
in the game?
all of audio.
So, like,
I say Doom Eternal should got nominated.
I gotta give it to, like, you hear the head crunch of a headshot when you hear the gurgling of when she slits the enemy's throat, and you hear them choking on their blood. I don't know, man.
I mean, Last of Us Part 2 is pretty visceral in its audio design.
Like it's very authentic in its sound.
My thing is Doom should have got nominated. Period. It didn't get nominated from Joystick, which is insane.
And then, you know, Half-Life Alyx, I'm pretty sure has the highest Metacritic and the highest user reviewed score, and it didn't get anything. Like,
I'll be back.
We're talking. Hey, was fucking Flight Sim in the audio category?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know, but
like that'd be weird because like that's a simulator, and so
All right, though. Let's cut it out. We're approaching like 2 hours. I just want to thank everybody for showing up to today's Playing Xbox. To all the viewers watching, people in the chat. Also want to give a big thanks to Farrah Bazard for coming through. Shout out to FC Violent and the was it y'all call it podcast Vitamin
D podcast.
Vitamin D podcast.
Yeah, we're on, every Monday 7 to 9 Eastern Standard Time.
Nice. So shout out to them. Shout out to Pharaoh. Thanks for blessing us with your presence today. Dre, we're gonna be working some more soon, but we gotta get you like an upgraded mic or something, B. Cause
I know, man.
So, but we got look out to the video tomorrow. Me and Dre will be discussing Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I'm just doing my job with the content on that game. More content to come soon. But shout out to Dre. Appreciate you coming through. Follow him on Twitter. Follow Pharaoh. And I'll have the channel links in the description below. Also, big surprise, old man Logan. Definitely appreciate you.
Heyo.
Awesome insight, dude. It was just like perfect for today's podcast, and I'm like kind of shocked. But man,
thanks,
please,
man. Thanks for having me. I just was like a shot in the dark. I was like, hey, I'm free. I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, no, it worked out. Definitely appreciate your insight. I got to check out your content. But yeah, I think you were an amazing addition to the show today, and I enjoyed hearing pretty much your input on everything, and would love to have you back sometime in the future, dude.
Yeah, definitely hit me up. I'd be more interested in coming back.
Awesome. Dope boy, you got anything going on before you get out of here?
Make sure you guys catch me on Twitch, Cokeboy J, streaming Destiny 2, Halo, whatever it may be, but a lot of Destiny 2. I've been grinding that game out. Make sure you guys follow everybody else as well. Follow me on Twitter at DopeIsJ, link in the description. And yeah, you guys have a good night.
Swans.
Thinking hard. Yo, what's up, bro? Hey, yo. Nah, thank you to all the guests who came through. Shout out Chris. Coke Boy, Smooth, thank you for having me. Shout out fucking Notorious Dre, Old Man Logan, Pharaoh. Thank y'all for coming through. It's very appreciated. Good to have some good just video game talking guys on here. No bullshit. I'm just kind of freaking out playing the little Jedi Fallen Order shit. Like it's at a part that's like intense as fuck, so I'm just freaking out a bit. But yeah, thank y'all. And yeah, peace out, gamers.
Chris Righteous, I know you've been throwing up some content lately, so it's been a joy to watch, man. Let them know where they could find you at.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the link to my channel in the chat, but you can follow me on Twitter at Chris Righteous. I'm also on the Saltiest Gaming Podcast on Thursdays. We're not gonna have one. Obviously, we're not gonna have one tomorrow because Thanksgiving. But I think next week, whenever we come back, cause we took like a 2-week break because of the new consoles. I think next week when we come back, we're supposed to have David Jaffe.
Is that God of War guy?
the creator of God of War, Twisted Metal.
Oh, that's sweet.
So yeah, you should come through and check that out. But yeah,
I like him. He's pretty cool.
I've been doing my own thing on my channel. I've been, making videos and shit like that about games. I just dropped a video about Square Enix finally announced his sequel to The World Ends With You, which was like an RPG on the DS or whatever. That it was a cult classic. So yeah, y'all can check me out. I'm about to drop the link below. And yo, shout out to the guests, first time guests. You know what I mean? So shout out to you guys for coming through. Great conversations. You know what I mean?
Plot twist. Chris is about to get an Xbox Series X instead of PS5. Plot twist.
Yep. I might have to get one if I can't find a PS5.
I mean, I'm telling you, get one from one of them freaking scalpers. There's somebody on. I think BG.
No. That's one thing. I'm not giving. No way. I'm not giving it to no. I'm full. Just retail price. Sony is selling it at $499. That's all I'm paying for it, plus tax. I'd rather wait. Fuck
no, that's true. That's true. I mean, that's true.
Eventually, a PlayStation 5 is gonna go into the store. I could just walk in and get that money. I mean,
by
there's gonna be more
January
opportunities
15th.
this holidays. So what?
15th, you'll be able to get it from a scalper for $350.
Oh man.
Right? Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I just wait for the scalper.
Or I'm pretty sure Amazon
If I'm
got
to
ski
get
masks
desperate.
on sale. We can run up on. Never mind. But all right, thank you guys for watching. Once again, shout out to the old man Logan. Follow him on Twitter. It's old man Logan on Twitter, right?
Yeah, Old Man Logan on Twitter. Same with Twitch, just
And
with
Twitch.
2 N's.
Awesome. And
Be playing Yakuza.
I gotta be checking that out because I gotta watch you play to see if this is something I'm willing to try out. But if I do,
It's in English, Smooth.
No, I
It's
know,
in
but
English,
I
so-
gotta play it after I get because Assassin's Creed Valhalla could be such a job to play. Once I get done with that and I get to venture off into different games, and Yakuza is, like I said, it's been on my radar. I just never pulled the trigger on it. But
Hold on, Soon, but you don't really like turn-based, do you?
no, the thing is,
Yeah.
the last turn-based game I really enjoyed. It was a while ago. I played I can't say I don't like it. I prefer not to play them. It literally have to capture me. The last game that really captured me was Paper Mario.
You don't like-
1,000
you
Years
don't
Ago.
I
like
will
chess?
say
Okay.
it doesn't feel traditional turn-based.
No,
if that's any
you can move
consolation.
around a bit.
Yeah, you can move around. It's just literally you're just hitting buttons. And doing
Yeah, I
special
heard
moves.
people it's also about positioning that if you're fighting in the street, dudes can get hit by a car if they have to.
Yeah.
And it takes damage.
Yeah, but that was almost all the Yakuza games.
Yeah, but in the
You
middle
your-
of a turn-based action though, that's
well, they made it crazy like Yakuza. You're gonna be bashing people's head through urinal stalls. You're gonna be doing all sorts of stuff. That's Yakuza. You're gonna be hitting people with bikes over their heads and shit like that.
Yeah.
That's all the Yakuzas are like that. I mean, I don't see this one being different other than
Okay.
it's turn-based.
All right. Well, thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for watching the episode, playing Xbox 38. That's a wrap for today. As always, Xbox is the best box, and I am the best bot. Good night or good morning if you're on the other side of the globe. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Peace.